Hi, I'm Christina Samatas,
I'm Renee DiSanto.
and today we're going to talk about our journey of how we got here.
So we have our 10-year anniversary coming up this year, which is crazy to think about, that we've been doing this for 10 years. And we're just going to talk a little bit about how we got here.
We actually lived down the street from each other and had worked together in various ways, but not together in the same business. I had hired Renee to bake cakes for my kids, and I had worked on some things for her. She was doing a lifestyle blog, was transitioning into, or no, you were doing a food blog, transitioning into a lifestyle blog, and asked if I would want to contribute because I went back to design school after my second child was born. And there we started collaborating more. We felt that like our energy synergies were in alignment. Mm-hmm. And I had just started picking up some clients based off of a job I was at prior to this. And Renee was Renee in the respect that she was like, why don't you post pictures? Why don't you have a website? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, I don't like that. I like to fly under the radar. And
I was like, I don't know if that's good for business. I think you need to show people your work. So we just started brainstorming and thinking about different ways that we can work together. My background is very diverse in that it's in a lot of different creative industries. So oil painting, graphic design, and then I had a cake business at the time. And then turned that into a food blog, which it was too much at the time to make cakes on the weekends and with brides. So it was all about timing when we came together. And it was like, you know what, why don't we try this together and see what happens?
Well, actually, I remember I asked you, I'm like, well, what do you want to come on like an install and see if you actually like this? Because it's a lot of like schlepping and not so glamorous. And like we did it the first one together, and you were like, okay, I can do this.
I was exhausted.
But what we realized is that like we're the yin and the yang. So that's what like our secret sauce is. It's like our differences create like this uniqueness, and like where she's strong, I'm weak, and vice versa in many areas. But then also we have this central core that like runs in alignment too. So naturally, we work well together. So that client is still a client today. She's client number one and will remain as like our most prized because she is the kindest. She and her husband are the kindest. Their family is the sweetest. And yes, they have been through every iteration of Park and Oak from the very, very beginning with just the two of us to the wonderful team that we have now. But it was a local project. It started off as a construction project for me with another company that then folded into us ultimately furnishing and accessorizing and then redoing for the children as they grew up in their home.
So when we started talking about this, there were a lot of different ideas, and it was for probably a few weeks trying to think about like what works for this. And we didn't want it to necessarily be our names. We knew that, we wanted something bigger and to have a bigger team. And we just wanted it to represent what we did. And then Chris called me one day and she was like, well, what about the streets that we live on? I live on Park and you live on Oak, and it sounds good together. So that's how we ended up here.
Yeah. It was a really quick decision, actually, which
we're like, yeah, that's it.
You'll deliberate about Pates for hours and days and weeks, but the name, you're like, done.
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
So my original career path, I had a communications major, and I started off working at a magazine at the time that I had interned with while I was in school, and that turned into a full-time marketing job. So I was doing marketing and special events for them. That then led into PR, which then led into more marketing in large-scale events. And then I had babies and was on pause for a bit, and then went back to school.
So this is all over the place. But so I went to school for business and that's my background. But during business school, I was doing oil paintings and selling those on the side. So when I graduated, I knew that most of the people that I graduated with ended up moving to New York or Chicago and doing, private equity or finance or things like that I knew that I was never going to be good at. So I knew that I wanted to do something creative, but I wasn't exactly sure what it was in the beginning. So tried a lot of different things and tried selling the paintings, and then having a graphic design business, having a cake business, and then turning that into the lifestyle blog, which eventually led to interior design.
I think we kind of figured that out quicker than we thought we would. We were working on this independently. So we had 6 little kids at the time. And I happened to have a nanny twice a week. And so we'd really utilize those days to MSH it, like make stuff happen. And we would come and sit at my dining room table, and the kids would be like chaotic behind, and we would be working on projects. And also at the same time, with Renee's insistence, like pushing Instagram and like taking photos and making the perfect photo and utilizing our homes, for those spaces. And that became a thing. It would be like a cold day. It'd be like perfect for a picture. And Renee would just show up at my door and be like, we have to do this now. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? So we did a lot of that. But then what happened with Instagram for us was that the pictures started to gain traction and we were like, oh my God, did you see 100 people are following us or 1,000 people are following us? And then like inquiries are coming in, like, this is crazy. So that for me was like, okay, we've got something.
Yes. And I think, when we did, it was our first construction from the beginning to the end. We started with somebody who we built a house with them, furnished it, went through the whole process. And it was like, this is something that, we can do. And it was,
and we can do well.
And we can do well. And it looked good. And we're like, okay, this is amazing. So we ended up now, we work on construction projects from the very beginning into furnishing. And then now we have Park and Oak Collected, which does the styling. And then expanding that into a cocktail bar. I'm not 100% sure how that fits in, but people come in and they have cocktails and there's art all over the walls. And sometimes people come in and they hire us.
Well, I think it invites them into an environment that we've created too. So they get to like touch it, feel it, see it in live.
So it ended up all working together.
Yeah. Which was always part of the plan. I just think the cocktail part of it wasn't necessarily. Renee assured me it wasn't going to be a bar.
No. And then it might be now.
It is, absolutely. My favorite coffee is at home with the Mocha Master and Nut Pod. But if I have to order out, I prefer an oat milk latte. Renee's more complicated. Depends on the season.
Well, there's a lot of different cocktails that I like. So the French fog is what we have at the parlor, which is it's like champagne, the pear vodka, lemon, which is always a favorite. And then we have a new menu with coconut and tequila.
Oh, I did like that one.
And it's called the Coco Loco, which is delicious.
What's your favorite coffee? That's what I answered.
Oh. Oat milk latte. That's usually what I drink. Yeah.
Unless it's the fall.
Yeah. Well, with a little bit of pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one pump. Early bird. Night owl. For sure. I'm like falling asleep on the sofa at 9.
So I haven't really had time to read a lot, so I can't say it was a book, but I did just watch the show We Were Liars, which may or may not be a teenage show, but it was really good. It's on Netflix.
I read 1,000 books at once. But the last show I binged was, and I was sad it was over, was The Diplomat. I like The Diplomat, which says a lot about our choices.
Very different.
Pasta. Always pasta.
That's true for you.
Yes. Renee's like, you need to stop.
It's like, I don't know, it's a variety for me, but I do eat a lot of cheese at this point.
It seems appropriate too. That's hard.
So for
I
this
know
one,
yours. I know yours.
There's a couple. So we went down to Nashville.
I knew that.
And then we had a great time after an install going out downtown Nashville. And it ended up, I think that was probably one of the most fun installs ever. Right?
Maybe the night, but not the next day.
No, the next day wasn't as fun. But so we had a great time downtown Nashville with all the bands and the music. And then I think Carmel it's beautiful scenery, went to the farmer's market. It's a beautiful project that we did out there. So that was a great trip as well.
I feel like mine always fluctuates depending on like what project I'm working on. I always get I always have like a favorite, but one that definitely surprised me was Leland, Michigan. Like I never expected to fall in love with Northern Michigan that way, but I loved that. And then also we're currently doing a project right outside Park City, and I really love that area as well. The people, the space, the landscape, it's amazing.
All right, well, thanks for watching. We like hanging out with you guys. And then we'll be back next time with a lot of other uncomfortable questions.
Thanks for watching.